Hey folks, Jimmy here, aka Palette of the Dead. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to the latest issue of Warhammer 40k Imperium magazine. Now, as per usual with all these videos, if you like them, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and of course, drop a comment down below. I love hearing back from you guys and it goes a massive way to help the channel too. Now, this week we're on issue 31 of Imperium and we get some more scenery. So we get this awesome bit of Ruin Factorum. A pretty decent bit. It is kind of like the Azurite ruins that we got with Mortal Realms, so it's a multi-part kit. And the best thing with stuff like this is there are many ways to paint it. There are many ways to kind of make sure that you're utilising it in different ways in your games. And if you want to, you can also use it for things like your armies on parade boards. If you're doing armies on parade, you can use it for dioramas. You can do a lot of stuff with it and make it look really, really cool. So really good stuff, and I must admit I am actually kind of looking forward to painting that, which is quite unusual for me for scenery bits, but really good stuff. Into the issue itself, we are of course greeted by the Ruin Factorum. So, the Ruin Factorum, aka the shattered remnants of war. Even the most heavily reinforced buildings are unlikely to survive the full force of a Xenos invasion and emerge intact. Across the surface of Sifos and the other moons of a Ramessus system, the hollowed out ruins of imperial structures provide meagre cover for beleaguered defenders. So, with the Ruin Factorum, this is one part of the kit where you actually have an upper floor, you have hard cover, so the walls of the lower floor, and at least those that are still standing have obviously provided cover, granting little extra protection to those standing within. There are reinforced doors designed to withstand explosions, and attempted forced entries are strong enough to remain still standing. And of course you can combine your terrain as well, so you can multiply, you can kind of manipulate it kind of how you want. So whether you're having different areas, different walls, big buildings, smaller buildings, the ruins of kind of multiple buildings, entirely up to you. Really good stuff though, but actually really handy to have as well, because it, as it does say, provides a lot of cover if you're for your games and stuff like that, so pretty damn cool. On the other page, of course, you can give it its binaric designation, you can give it its previous function as well, whether it was makeshift barracks, prometheum storage, or even a Medicaid facility if you wished as well. And then you've got rules for last stand and objective secured as well with that. Then we move on, we've got a theatre of war, which is the Sifos battle zone, a war-torn ruined district. So, Sifos Factorum and military districts have been ground down beneath a Necron invasion. Imperial forces now do battle with Necrons in the ruins of once grand structures that are now twisted and broken, reducing to serving as makeshift cover for battling warriors. So, across the whole district there are the streets, which includes District Omega 12, once a bustling arms manufacturing and storage facility devoted to heavy industry and martial craft. Sifos's District Omega 12 has been largely reduced to rubble. And then you've got some artwork of some of the buildings, including the cargo hauler on there and the storage fane itself, and then some Imperial statuary which will be dotted around in a lot of areas, and yeah, adds to more kind of the look of the kind of the gothic fantasy futuristic kind of aesthetic that the game that 40k has, which is pretty cool. Moving on though, you also get on the other page, you can give your battle record as well, so the manufacturer and sector name, the goods that can be generated in there, and then you can have your battles as well that you can kind of go around on here as well if you wish to. But yeah, really cool, and adds a little bit of extra to your game, so you can go through that kind of war zone if you wish to. Obviously they do a lot more other war zones which you get in sometimes in issues of White Dwarf, which are always worth looking out for because you can add bits and pieces to them. So really good stuff. Then we get good old Forge World Lucius, so the Hollow Forge. The Forge World Lucius is a gigantic hollow planet whose industrial sprawl carpets its inner surfaces. In the planet's empty heart burns an immense artificial sun, a fusion mega-reactor the Lucian tech priests claim to have built, but whose origins are shrouded in mystery. So, As you can see here, we've got some more information about one of the other Forge worlds. So if you haven't painted your Adeptus Mechanicus, you could go with Lucius' paint scheme, which is red robes over kind of a beigey, kind of wraithbone kind of coloured trousers and tunic underneath. And yeah, they also look pretty cool, and they're more kind of silvery metallic as well, and kind of dark metallic on for the underneath for their main armour, but look really, really cool. On the other side, we have Agrippina, or Agrippina, Orb of a Million Scars. So Agrippina is a world scarred by war, its legions forged in conflict's crucible and tempered through the fires of hellish battles, long as this forged world resisted the attentions of the dark gods. And we also get their colour scheme, which is black robes over red underclothes, which actually looks really, really cool, and I must admit I quite like that colour scheme. It does work very, very well, and makes it a little bit different, which is always really, really nice and makes it pretty cool. Then we get some of the other information about one of the other chapters of Space Marines, which are the Blood Angels. So the Blood Angels, you may have heard about these are the sons of Sanguinius. So as one of the first founding chapters, the Blood Angels trace their lineage to one of the Emperor's Primarchs, the Great Angel Sanguinius. Though their Primarch has long since fallen, his legacy casts a long shadow over their chapter, and the Blood Angels still strive to live up to his ideals. So, the Blood Angels are one of the most ancient and noble Space Marine chapters. They hail from the Baal system, which lies at the heart of a savagely beautiful region of space known as the Red Scar. The Sons of Sanguinius have served the Imperium for 10,000 years, spilling the blood of countless heretics and predatory Xenos in defence of the Emperor's realm. The opening of the Great Rift saw the Baal system cut off from Holy Terror, isolated deep within the dark expanse of the Imperium Nihilus. So, Blood Angels are also one of the really, really cool chapters of Space Marines. Full red armour with kind of that different good old Aquila, which is really, really nice looking. They are one of the coolest around as well. I really do like the Blood Angels. They are pretty damn cool. They also have a lot of cool units as well, including Commander Dante. So Commander Dante, in full golden armour, which looks really, really cool, is the current chapter master of the Blood Angels. He is amongst the oldest living Space Marines and the longest serving chapter master, alongside its, and is the longest serving chapter master. Reboot Gilliman, Lord Commander of the Imperium, has appointed Dante as Warden of the Imperium Nihilus, placing him in charge of the defence of this beleaguered realm. Dante has taken to his new duties with his customary determination and exemplary leadership. They do also have a flaw within good old the Blood Angels. So we Blood Angels are haunted by a curse that will surely spell our doom. The flaw, as it is known, is our greatest secret. It is a twin threat comprised of the red thirst and the black rage. The former clouds the mind and of the afflicted with feverish blood madness, but at least this first stage of madness is temporary. The black rage, however, is permanent, destroying the sufferer's sanity and condemning their soul to a crazed, uncontrollable fury. So, the Blood Angels obviously have their unique traits, and the flaw is their main unique trait. But they look really, really cool, and they are, one of the most storied ones as well. So they have a pretty damn cool history. Then we've got a how to build guide. The how to build the Manufactorum is actually really, really easy. It's pretty simple. You're very unlikely to go wrong with it. Have a bit of fun with it, and yeah, you'll fly through it in no time, I'm sure. But dead easy. We will get other pieces for the Manufactorum later on as well, so if you have some random extra bits and pieces, which is highly unlikely, but you may, then we'll get other bits and pieces as well to go with them, which will be coming in issue 34 as well, so you can set them up a little bit differently as well. Then you've got your how to paint section. Now, your how to paint section, you can do this in many different ways. If you want to go down this route, you can. It will look alright. However, I personally think there is a better way of doing the paint scheme for the Manufactorum and give it a very, very similar look to what we've seen in the kind of photos and everything that the magazine has provided. Now, Their way of doing it is using Corax White and Mephiston Red and then layering over Nuln Oil, which will do a very decent job. If you are dry brushing over Corax White, it will bring it back a bit and it will look half decent. It's not going to look terrible, but I think you can do better. The easier way of doing better with it is, quite simply, using Wraithbone. So, or a kind of an ivory colour. So for instance, if you haven't got Wraithbone and you're able to get hold of it, colours like Ivory Tusk from Greenstuff World, or you can get some of the ivory kind of skull kind of colours from good old Army Painter or anything like that. Entirely up to you, but you can make it look far, far better. And in all honesty, it will look far superior. It will look very bleached if you're using very similar techniques to this. So Wraithbone, Agrak Surfshade or Nuln Oil will get it looking very, very good and will give it a better, kind of more of a VAT style look than Corax White will, in all honesty. So, but entirely up to you how you want to go about doing it. Then you have tutorials about forming the area terrain. So area terrain is a category of terrain that feature that can be formed from ruins, woods, craters and other features that models can move into and through. And this tutorial is going to explain how to set up the area terrain on your own battlefield. So entirely up to you how you want to go about using this. If you are going to use it, very, very simple stuff really though, and this is kind of details how you are able to use units within this area. So every area will have its own kind of designated section depending on how you want to set it up, and you can move units in between them as well. But yeah, fairly simple. Yeah, can't see you're going to go wrong with it in all honesty. But it also details how obscuring the view of models can work, how kind of light cover works, how heavy cover works, what's breachable, what's not breachable, and what can be defended, and much, much more. So you'll have to make notes depending on where the actual terrain itself. But very, very kind of more and more kind of rules that you can utilise in your games. Talking of rules, we get more of core rules as well, which is all to do with your movement phase. Very simple stuff. And then we get our scout section for urban warfare, which is going to use some of our Ruin Factorum, 2 storage crates, and the good old Heliotrope reactor. I almost forgot what it was called there. And then one of your battle mats. Very, very easy. You're not going to go wrong with it. But for this one, it is 10 Necron Warriors, 5 Immortals, and 1 Royal Warden going up against 10 Assault Intercessors, 2 groups of 5, and your Lieutenant. Yeah, literally, you have to seize the Factorum. So the enemy must be cast out from the Ruin Factorum and position seized. The force that controls this position at the end of a battle will be victorious. The battle lasts for 5 rounds. At the end of a battle, yeah, you just got to control the objective really. Fairly easy. But yeah, pretty decent little battle to have fun with. Teach you a little bit more about utilising certain areas. But yeah, actually pretty damn good as well. Then next week we get a Cataphrone Destroyer. Pretty damn cool. Part of a Legio Cybernetica, one of the Adeptus Mechanicus models. I actually quite like it. It looks really, really good. As I say, with these kits, they can be made into 2 different units. So you could go for the Cataphrone Destroyer, or you could go for the Breacher. Entirely up to you which you want to go for. The magazine wants you to do the Destroyer, and it will give you the data sheet for the Destroyer, but not for the Breacher, because they do have slightly different rules. If you are going to use a Breacher, or buy 2 magazines, and go for the Breachers as well as Destroyers, you will need to download the Breachers rules as well. So, very easy. The week after though, issue 33, we get 2 new paints. We get Reichland Flesh Shade, and we also get Cryptek Armor Shade Gloss. So a gloss shade, which I must admit I've never used, but it's going to be alright. We also get some information about Orcs, we get some updated Necron data sheets. So yeah, it's all good really. So, happy days. Right, that's it from me. Thank you very, very, very much for watching, and I'll see you sometime soon. Bye. Bye bye now.